Hello, my name's Tony and welcome back to Fragdicted. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about my autumn or fall, depending on where you are in the world, niche and designer top 10 fragrance list. Now this is a bit of a list with a difference, and the reason for that is because they're all from decants. Now you may call me cheap, but they're also fragrance wants. I want these fragrances. So I hope you enjoy this top 10 list. Let's run through the list. So just to recap, these are all decants. They're all fragrances that I really love to add to my collection. So number 10 on the list is Bentley for Men Intense. Now I was sent this decant from your average frag head. I'll leave these details here, as I really wanted to try it before I bought a full bottle. Now I know it's not expensive, but all these small bottles all add up. And you know what, I thought, well, let's give it a go first and see if I like it. So this has some rum, it has some smokiness, it has some woods, and it has some spices. It's an absolute beast. It lasts for hours on the skin and is well worth the money. It's not necessarily a blind buy because I think it will be too strong for some, but quality juice at this price point. That is my number 10. Number 9 is courtesy of PDM_UK, and this is a Parfums de Marly fragrance, and it is Carlisle. So this is the autumn winter version of Leighton, in my opinion. It's got a similar apple note in it, but ramp that up with some patchouli, some deeper darker woods, and some vanilla. So if you was to mix Herod and Leighton, and they had a little baby Parfum de Marly, it would be called Carlisle. That is my number 9. Number 8 is courtesy of the legend. That is Barry from Sensualize. He kindly sent me this decant of one of his favourite fragrances. He nicknamed it Baz Yonder. Brilliant fragrance, very, very strong, amazing for this time of year. The whiskey and the woods and that little hint of rose gives it that classy, cozy feeling about it. And it performs like an absolute beast. Cracking fragrance, and one I'd love to add to my collection. That's number 8, and that is Baronda from Nasamato. Number 7. I've got a rather large decant of this. I bought a 30 ml decant, really cheap. I think it cost me about £15 on a Facebook group. And this has become one of my favourite fragrances, so I do need to add the bottle to my collection. And this is Prada Plum Intense. This is Iris done sexy. It's an amazing date night fragrance. It's got that same Prada iris that they do very, very well. But you add tonka, the leather, the amber, the patchouli and the sandalwood, and you get this much darker, richer, denser version of it. I reckon when they created this, it hit the brief spot on. This is the nighttime version of Prada Plum, in my opinion. Just quality for a designer fragrance. And you can pick it up reasonably cheap too. So that is Prada Plum Intense. That's my number 7. Now, number 6 I picked up in a discovery pack, and it is from Atelier Cologne, and this is called Vanille Incense. Now, this might just be me holding on to the last bit of summer. I think that's gone now, though. It is vanilla, lime, cedar. It's just got this gorgeous, uplifting, powdery, addictive note to it. The lime and the vanilla together just works so well. It is gorgeous, gorgeous stuff, and I would love to add this. It is one of my favourite fragrances I have tried this year. That is my number 6. And yes, there are ones that I want more, even better than this. Got to add this to my collection. Number 5 is from Maison Margiela, and it is from the replica line. And I had trouble picking which one to pick for autumn. I've gone with one that I feel suits the weather slightly better. That it was a choice of between the two, Jazz Club or By the Fireplace. I went with Jazz Club for autumn. This I picked up as part of the Discovery Pack. And again, it's just gorgeous, addictive stuff. It's got some rum, it's got some tobacco, and it's got some vanilla. So it's got the right amount of sweetness and the right amount of resinous qualities that I love in a fragrance. I was really wowed by this. It really jumped out as definitely one of my favourite from the line. And that is my number 5 choice. We're down to number 4. My number 4 for this list, again, another decant. This is courtesy of Travel Spray 128 over on eBay. I'll leave the details linked below. And this is Grand Soir from MFK. Just absolute class in a bottle. One of the best amber fragrances I've tried, full stop. Tonka, amber, vanilla, benzoin. It performs like a beast. Considering it's got a lot of familiar notes in it, it's actually quite unique in my opinion. But this lasts all day. It's just so addictive and resinous and deep. I just love it. So that is my number 4 choice. Now we're down to my last 3. I really need to add all 3 of these fragrances to my collection. I'm blown away by some of the fragrances I've got on this list, but these 3 especially are just insane. Number 3 is Oud for Greatness by Initio. It's got lavender and agar wood. It's got some patchouli, but it's also got this really addictive sweetness to it. Now, I think it's Ether Molto, which is a similar note you'll find in Baccarat Rouge 540. I do pick up a bit of lavender, but I can smell that slightly animalic agar wood note. It's never challenging, so don't let that worry you. And on that subject, I wore this to work. I walked into my wife's office at work, and straight away she asked, "What are you wearing?" I said, "Do you like it?" She said, "Yeah, it smells really good." She thought it was Baccarat Rouge 540. It has that similar sweet burnt candy note in it, which I'm assuming can only be coming from adding something like Ether Molto into it. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that makes it far less challenging than it otherwise would have been, and it makes it far more addictive. So I've really enjoyed wearing this one. This is my number 3 choice, and it is Oud for Greatness by Initio. And I love the bottle. I would just love to add that. Anyone that's already got it, I'm jealous of you. And you've got really good taste. Number 2, I picked this up from Plum Perfumery. When I went in there and bought a purchase, they gave me some samples to try. And this is one that really jumped out on the day. I would absolutely love a bottle of it after trying it further. And it is from Perris, Monte Carlo, and it is called Vanille de Tahiti. It has these sweet yellow florals. It has some musk, some sandalwood, and some amber. But obviously the main star of the show is the vanilla. Now, what I love about this one, it's not like a lot of other vanilla fragrances. There's a lot of these fragrances in this list that have vanilla in, and it doesn't smell like any of them. It's got this fizzy, light, airy, classy touch to it, real addictiveness, and it's quite an authentic vanilla. But it never becomes too much or too sweet or too cloying. I think the vanilla with the yellow florals just works so well together. So it's got some yang-a-lang in, and I think that's playing a major part. What a gorgeous fragrance, and I would love to add this. That is Vanille de Tahiti from Perris, Monte Carlo. That is my number 2. And we're on to my number one choice. This is from a house I've been discovering more of recently. I am in love with everything I've tried. I need to add a lot of this range to my collection. It is from the Tom Ford Private Blend collection, and it is Plum Japonais. So special shout out to Marco at the Covent Garden store in London, who kindly gave me this sample when we bought a fragrance in store. Fabulous customer service, by the way. So onto the fragrance. Obviously it's got plum in it. The plum to me could be ramped up just that touch more. However, the real star of the show are the spices in this. They got this real authentic, sweet, addictive spice that I just love in a fragrance. It's got some benzoin, some amber, some vanilla, so it's got the sweetness too. It's got the depth. It lasts all day on my skin. But I just think this is real high quality from Tom Ford. Niche quality in my opinion. Wonderful, wonderful stuff, and just something I've adored wearing the couple of times I've worn it to work on skin. I would love this as a signature scent. It reminds me a little bit of the spices and the quality that you find in Zaharoff Signature Pour On. And I think that's one of the reasons that I love this so much. But with that added plum just sitting there in the background throughout the whole wearing, I just think it's gorgeous. And I really need to add this. So that is my number one choice and my autumn list for 2020 of all the fragrances that I would like to add to my autumn collection from the decants that I've kindly received from lots of people. So I really appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. I know I ask it every time, but did you know there's 55% of my watchers not subscribed?
Subscribe!
Have you subscribed yet? Subscribe! Have you done it yet? Am I boring you yet? Well, subscribe. Anyway, I've really enjoyed this. Hope you have too. Don't forget to keep smelling wonderful.